Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new world. This is hypothetically going to be a long-standing series called Bray's World, where I will be existing in this world for a long time and building some neat old things around. Part of the reason I play Minecraft is definitely for the building aspect, more than the survival aspect. But I think the survival aspect just kind of makes all of the work worth it. It's fun to build stuff in creative too, of course, but I find that the survival aspect and having to gather all the things kind of makes you appreciate the builds a bit more. So I've been playing Minecraft for many, many years. I've been playing for about 12 or 13 years, back when it came out when I was in high school. And realistically, I've never had a long-standing, like, forever world. I know that's kind of a big buzzword right now, but I just realized I've never played the game for longer than that. I know that there's kind of that 2 week period that people talk about regularly where you kind of feel like you burn out. You play for 2 weeks and then you've done everything and then you kind of fizzle out and move on. That's never been me. I've actually played the game quite a bit, but more so for things like creating resource packs and creating more of the creative aspects of things, and more focused on building maybe a one-off build for servers rather than fleshing out an entire world. So I'd like to take a good, honest crack at it, and so this is what I'm hoping to do with this series here, which we're getting started with today. So, yeah, feel free to come join along with me. I'm excited to get this started, so let's do it. I think with how late it is already, I think first things first, it'd be good to, unfortunately, sacrifice a few sheep over here to get some wool for a bed. Nice. So we are going to be playing a little bit of modded. It's like a vanilla plus style of modded Minecraft. They're not going to be doing anything that's going to make the game too easy for us, but it's just kind of like nice little UI improvements, things like that. So, yeah. And I think mods can come and go as we decide what does and doesn't work for the series. But for the time being, I have a small selection of mods, and I am actually looking into potentially uploading a mod pack of what I'm playing with. So if this is something that you also want to play with, a little weird hitch there. If this is something you also want to play with, then I will be able to provide that probably through Modrinth is going to be the way I'm going to do that. But links will be in the description in future episodes once that is taken care of. Okay, so I've retreated here to this island in the middle of the water to escape all of those hostile mobs. Wanted to get those hitches fixed, see if those don't happen anymore. I think we're good. But back to what we needed to do. I see a sheep right there, and we need one more piece of wool so we can make a bed and sleep through the night. In the meantime, on our way sauntering over there, just wanted to point out that you can see things like the flowers and the grass and the new bushes have even some new textures themselves. And I've made some flower cluster things. Those are all a part of a resource pack I've been working on for the last 10 months called Bray's World. Don't shoot me, skeleton. I'm not in the mood. Don't do it. Ow. Okay, we gotta go. That is available. You can have that. I will have a link for that in the description below. But it's something that I wanted to work on, and it's something I've been passionate about working on for a long time, to be honest. I've done resource packs for a long, long time, as I said at the beginning of this episode. But this has been something of more of a concerted effort that I've been doing. Oh, we got the new firefly bushes already. Let's go. That's exciting. Okay, we'll definitely have to get some more of those. Ooh. I was hoping I could hide out in one of the caves over here, but now there's some mobs that are kind of locking me off. We just need to make a bed really quick. Oh dear. The first night. Maybe we can box ourselves in. We also need to make some food, because I cannot sprint anymore. Let's make a bed. And let's sleep. Ah, good morning. Okay, perfect. We probably should actually leave that down out there somewhere, so that if we do die, we can respawn. We're not going to spawn at our at the world spawn. But anyway, now that it's daytime and all those jerks are burning alive, we can actually start talking. But yeah, so just to recover on the conversation about my resource pack stuff, that is available now. It's something I've been very excited about working on for the last 10 months, and if you want it, it's available to you, and I'd love to hear your feedback. If there's something that you think it's missing, would love to hear that, as well as if there's things that you like. Of course, that's also really helpful to know too, just to see what people are kind of vibing with and whatnot. So let's go ahead and grab some stones so we can get started on our Google stuff. Oh, I've got world edit here. Let me disable that real quick. Okay, we got that all fixed. I have world edit on just for when I'm doing some creative stuff, but obviously we don't want to have to use it here. Also, I accidentally gave myself another one. Here, we'll just throw this down there. Gave myself another one when I was trying to unbind it. So, no worries, just a little hiccup. We're going to get all the kinks out in the early episodes so that we don't have to worry about it afterwards. Okay, let's get some stone. I'm not sure how much of the beginning process I'm going to include because it does kind of feel like everyone's, beginning to a new world is kind of the same, right? But we'll throw in at least a little bit of getting established just as I'm talking and introducing myself a little bit. Yeah, this has been something I've been really wanting to do for a long time, just as a fun creative project, and I've recently found the time to do so, and so that's why we're doing it now. And I'd be very excited for you guys to join me along on this journey. Now that we've got some stone, let's go ahead and actually already upgrade to a stone pickaxe. Getting an upgrade, let's go. And then we'll get a couple more pieces for a furnace because we need to cook this food and get our munch on. Get some food in our belly. Yeah, 17 will be enough to make a furnace. And then we'll throw that in there. We'll throw that in there, and then we'll do... Probably need a little bit more just to make sure it doesn't run out. Okay. Let's also make a stone axe, which is funny because I made this one just to be able to mine the wood we use to block up the entrance. And I know you can use your pickaxe as a... Let's do this, I guess. So it'll burn that next. Yum, 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 yum. So yeah, we're playing just at the release time of 1.21.5. Had to wait a little bit to get some of the necessary mods updated. For example, like flashback, so that we could record and do some cool intro swoopy stuff, which hopefully you saw in the intro before arriving here as we are now. And yeah, so these are tools that I've known have existed for a long time, but I haven't really had a use case for them. So this is also going to be a chance for me to try some fun things with that. Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of this area that we're starting in, I really like plains. I feel like they obviously just provide a lot of like kind of a flat canvas to build on top of. Though I like this area too because it's not just a flat plain. We have like some nice hills and stuff like that. It'd be cool to build up on the top there. Also, I'm not averse to doing some extreme terraforming if the need is required. Oh, we have turtles and stuff too nearby. That's crazy. I've never had a turtle that close to my spawn location as far as I can remember. That's awesome. So, apologies to these cows. I probably should save a couple just so that we can make sure we don't extinguish the population too early. We'll save you two and come back when we have some wheat. But in the meantime, we'll just keep killing stuff so we can get some early game food because your boy is hungry. Oh, okay. So this is one of my new favorite changes. So leaf litter in general is a cool new addition. I just think that Mojang should have implemented it a little bit differently. And so actually in my resource pack, I have kind of implemented the change as I would have done it. In that the more segments of the leaf litter that are filled up, the taller the thing gets, sort of like snow layers, if you've seen snow layers before. And I think this is a great addition. I also made it so that the texture is more akin to, I think I used spruce leaves as the, or birch leaves, definitely birch leaves, but with the colors of the leaf litter, actually back before they used it being biome tinted. So these are a hard coded color now instead of a biome tinted thing. It just didn't really make sense to me, or that like the variation wasn't all that strong. So I was like, why not just make it something that I can control a little bit more accurately and have some nice colors between red, orange, and yellow in there. I just saw that. That's funny. There were two fallen logs right next to each other. I feel bad chopping it down. Maybe I'll put it back here. It's like right there. Okay. We'll preserve a little bit of the natural beauty. How about that? That is kind of the biggest what's the tenet when I play Minecraft is I don't want to just like, build a whole flat area and build from there. I like to kind of integrate into the terrain a little bit and leave sort of the natural beauty of the Minecraft generation. Because because I think that there's a sort of charm to the game, right? And so I'm not trying to squash that down. I'm trying to kind of elevate it with all of these additions and with how I like to build into the environment around me. So I'm going to spend the next little bit of time just getting geared up with some basic wood tools and maybe a little starter shack that we can store our bed in before we go into our first mining adventure. Just really quickly wanted to come back real quick just to show this beautiful view. This is going to be an awesome cave to explore and probably do something with at some point, but I was just looking around for some coal. We're just over the hill here where we were talking about the leaf litter stuff before. Over there's our safety island. But this is beautiful. I love some of the new cave generation that they did with the Caves and Cliffs update. You just get some really nice vistas that just didn't used to exist in cave generation, so anyway, that's all. So now that we've spent a little bit of time getting this area cleared out, we can build ourselves a little bit of a house here. You might have seen during the quick zooming around that this looked like a fletching table. I have no idea why that looked like that. That's a fun little flashback bug that, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully it gets fixed. We'll see. But if you were curious about that, that's all that was. This is actually supposed to be a crafting table, and that confused me also. You know what's fun is in this being the first time that I've really encountered the leaf litter in a survival setting since 121.5 dropped, I did not realize just how much you get in a short span of time. I guess if you consider that each block can have up to 4 in one, right? It just builds up so quickly. And I was actually going to check and see. I don't think I have anything to cook. We can make some coal or some charcoal. I was curious if you can use this as fuel, because like we have so much of it, honestly, that you might as well after what we just did clearing all that out. So maybe we'll use just one here to make a little bit of charcoal for us, and then we can use that for our torches or something like that, because we got to get this area lit up so that it's nice and clean from mobs and we're not getting swamped as we're heading to bed and whatnot. So now, I didn't want to do this without you guys, but along with this part I showed you earlier, there's some iron that's really easy right here. Let's go get a sword. I just realized I don't have any kinds of fighting. I don't have any means of fighting back. And with creepers like that, we want to get rid of them real quick. Yeah. Yeah. One more. No. Should be one more. Yay, we're monster hunters. Oh, now we're getting shot by a bow. Wonderful. As soon as we get that iron, it looks like there's a good amount of it too. As soon as we get that, we'll definitely make a shield first. And then I think followed by, depending on how much we find, I see more there. Definitely want to make a pickaxe, but I also would like to make a bucket so that we can move our water over from there and start making a wheat farm, just so that we have stuff for breeding animals and a little bit of extra food. Okay, so I grabbed a few seeds. Let's go ahead, and it looks like we have just enough to make a hoe for ourselves. And I guess we'll get started on some wheat right by the water's edge, just so that we're not burning through all of our iron right away. But obviously eventually we'll want to make a more sophisticated farm than just hugging the shore like this. But it's it's not much, but it's honest. It's an honest living, as they do say. Go ahead and plant our seeds in our seedy place. Hi, chicken. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Let's grab some dirt if we have some dirt, and I think we can use that to get up tall. Make ourselves real big. Looks like we were able to make 17 charcoal with half a leaf litter stack, so that's kind of cool. Nice, our first bit of iron. Let's go ahead and make a bucket first, because then we can go grab some water while the rest is smelting over there. Fill her up. So with our second piece, we're going to go ahead and make a shield. And let's do a pickaxe, because if we find any gold or diamonds, we're definitely going to want to be able to do that. And then with this piece here, we can make us a sword. We'll go ahead and throw our stone tools inside. I guess we can keep the shovel and the axe. Don't need that, or that. Slowly collecting eggs. It wasn't something I intended to do, but here we are. Okay, I'm gonna do some quick mining. I'll do a speed time lapse sort of thing with that, as I'm just collecting stuff and whatnot. If anything interesting happens, I'll definitely include that as well. But I just want to go ahead and just get some really basic starter resources, and we'll look at what our haul is after I rejoin you guys. Nice. Can't touch this. Ow. Spoke too soon. No. Saw that coming. Wow. That rail looks so sad. All by itself. No, after you, water. Please take your time. Wow, that is some early diamonds. This is a crazy first cave to encounter. You know, we gotta go for those. We can see them already. They're just kind of laughing at us. 1 diamond. Okay, let's actually do this the quick way. We just want to get in, get out. Ouch! I messed up. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that all in there. That's amazing, actually. We got almost a entire stack of iron just from a quick dip into the pool, as well as 9 diamonds. That's pretty solid. We're definitely gonna make us a pickaxe first. Let's get some sticks. We got ourselves the diamond pickaxe, and I think, you know, maybe we'll definitely do a sword because we want to be able to protect ourselves. And then we'll have these guys as backup. Didn't anticipate having to trade them out so quickly. Once we get our iron all done, we'll turn these into some armor for us so we can get all geared up. And just like that, we now have full iron armor. Let's go. And obviously, we got to put our shield on, and then we're ready to go. They can't attack us anymore. We're so defended. I don't know if I've shown off my skin, by the way. Skin designing is one of my favorite things, and I actually have a problem in that I'm regularly tinkering with my skin and changing it. But the kind of the foundation of it's always kind of remained the same, or at least it's all evolved over time. But it's the soul of it is kind of has been similar. So don't be surprised if you do see bits and pieces of it changing here and there. But here we are. This is us. This is Bray. I am Bray. You are watching Bray. Yeah. So now that we're a bit more established, I think it's about time that we get our starter house done. I already have a pretty fun idea that I'm excited about that will have a footprint of about 12 by 8. So it's pretty small, kind of the ideal size for, you know, a first home. But I think it's going to be full of characters still and kind of, you know, establish this idea of like kind of a ramshack little house that, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere kind of vibe. So I'm excited to build it, but before we get there, I am definitely going to need to get some resources. I tried to plan with mostly stuff that you would be able to get pretty early on in a world, but I know for a fact we're going to need to go find dark oak and spruce at a minimum, and I haven't seen either of those yet nearby, so might have to do a little bit of exploring. But before we did that, I did want to kind of block out the rough shape. It's possible that it'll have to move a little bit. I'm thinking this whole mound of dirt's probably going to have to go, just to give more of a front yard vibe. I like this little structure here, so I'm inclined to keep that because I like the big tree on top of it. And then you could do like a little gateway through here later on, which would be cool. Kind of opens up to our waterfront. So I like that as a kind of a landscaping shape. But yeah, we'll see what we can do here, and then maybe build up the terrain here to kind of keep that natural wall feeling that we're losing by getting rid of this. With that entire hill dug out, I cannot wait to finally get efficiency tools, but now that we've got that done, we're going to head out to the north to see if we can get some of the resources we're looking for. Spotted this cherry grove biome out in the distance, and we're not going to head there yet, but definitely want to stop there on the way home. Saw all these pretty flower colors and decided we needed all of them and totally wrecked our entire inventory, but don't worry, we'll get that fixed in a second. Gotta have your foliage, right? Jumped into the water here to kill some squid for some ink sacs. Gonna need some black dye. And then to fix our inventory issue with all these flowers, we got some leather from this cow here, made a bundle, and that made things a lot more organized, a lot nicer. Back into the water here, we had to grab some clay because the build I'm gonna do does require a little bit of terracotta. From there, saw a village, but decided we're gonna get to that later. Let's head in the way towards the spruce. Nice little bit of emerald ore there. We'll have to remember that for later. But here we are to grab some spruce, and we're gonna make sure we grab at least a few saplings so that we can grow the bigger ones back at home without running out of saplings for later. While I was here, I did accidentally fall into some powdered snow. My toes were just a little bit chilly. Decided to also grab some wildflowers because you gotta have those, especially with the way I've done them in my pack. They're so colorful. Happened to see this dark oak forest in the distance, so we went in that way to grab them. And on our way over there, we saw some of these new firefly bushes, which I'm super excited about. Love their ambiance, love the new particles. So we made sure to grab plenty. And then here in the dark oak forest, same kind of situation as the spruce. These are notoriously bad at giving you back your saplings, so made sure to get at least 8 so I could grow 2 big trees and hopefully get enough of my saplings back. Ooh, fallen tree mushroom. And then my parkour skills totally failed me here. Fell right into this ravine, so that was fun. And then here we are to the cherry grove where I was able to get some logs and some saplings, as well as the pink petals. We're getting just every single bit of foliage we can right here. Oh, another mushroom! And then just as we were getting home, we made a new best friend, so that's pretty cool. I have no idea what to name him, so I'm excited to read you guys' suggestions in the comments. And then just around the corner, we arrive, relax with all of our new resources and our new best friend. Alright everybody, so I've been back for a couple of hours now, just farming up resources for our build here. You can see we have an entire double chest full of resources. We might need a little bit more than this in some specific parts, but this is probably about 90% of the materials we're going to be using for our house today, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, this is the general footprint of it. You're going to have a doorway here. We're going to have a little kitchenette and a little bedroom. And then actually also I've incorporated a little bit of like a storm cellar entrance into where we're going to have our basic early game storage situation with lots of barrels and chests and stuff like that. Stone cutter and crafting table and stuff like that so that we can make and grab any blocks and stuff that we need on the fly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our first building montage. I'm very excited. We're going to have a place to live, place to lay our cozy little head when it's tired time. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and... Oh, hold on. I got it. Hit it. Alright everyone, and here it is, our basic starter home where we're going to be spending the good majority of our early days in this world. Even though it's not very big, we don't need a lot of space, but there's lots of detail crammed into this little footprint of a building. Entering in here, you can see that we've used some lodestones. I found there was a ruined portal over the distance there that was nice to use as our like entrance way. Here's our kitchen. We got a nice fireplace, lots of foliage throughout the entire place just to add a pop of color. But we got a fireplace to keep warm in the cold, cold winters, our furnace for all of our smelting needs, even a blast furnace if we need to get through some iron and gold and whatnot quickly. And then over here we'll enter into the bedroom where we have lots and lots of extra little storage stuff. There's barrels up above that we can stuff things into. And yeah, some nice, I'm kind of thinking like this is the house of someone who lives kind of on their own in the woods, isolated and kind of enjoying the quiet and peacefulness of that. But they don't need a lot of space, and so kind of everything's shoved into the corners. And I also like the idea that the house has a bit of this like run down feel. So, there's kind of some holes and irregular shapes and things. The roof is leaking. So I don't know. It's pretty great. It's a wonderful starter home. Even got a bit of a chimney and an antenna if they want to get some cell service, or maybe they have like a portable television. And then there's this drain spout here where you can see the water's kind of collecting and draining off of the roof line. Obviously not doing so well considering how mossy and gross the roof is looking, but it looks like it could have been worse. That being said, I do think that it could be a little bit more implemented into the environment a bit more. The house itself looks wonderful, lots of detail, but I think it's just kind of sitting on its own right now, and so definitely want to spend the time to embed it into its environment a little bit more, make it look more natural and at home, like it's been there for a long time. So I did learn this quick trick that I have never tried it before, but I've seen it and it looks pretty cool. Okay, give me some graces. My first try. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Okay, it worked. Look at that. We obviously have a lot more nature in the area now with some more trees, more intentionally designed. A giant custom tree here, and then my favorite part here is that the downspout has now led into a bit of a stream that's feeding all of these wheat fields here. So we can actually grow some bread and stuff, some wheat nearby, and have it look natural. I was gonna go sleep, but I did want to show off the ambiance of the having a little bit of the new firefly bushes and stuff like that. They're so cool. They give such a nice atmosphere when it gets nighttime. I know you can make them work in the daytime as well by hiding some of these underneath the ground where they're in darkness. I did do that for 1 or 2 of them, so there are still a few particles, but just definitely not as much as at nighttime. Okay, so now that it's daytime, we can check out the rest of things. But yeah, the tree is really good. This was not a custom tree fully. I grew it and then I modified it a little bit by adding some of these branches and then adding some leaves and stuff underneath it. I made my own custom fallen log over here just to give a little bit of a different scenery and whatnot. I really liked this idea of kind of boxing us in with a ring of trees here and some grass and foliage and things like that. Some different colored flowers and whatnot. We can follow this path back here, and it does lead behind the house, but so far there's nothing over there. Maybe eventually we'll make more of a custom path up to the mine and then actually utilize that cave for some kind of a mine. Over here we have a pile of logs that were chopped down for lumber at some point and then just kind of abandoned, so they've been sitting here growing some moss on them, but they're still strapped down for any time we might need them. And then I have a little compost bin over here where we can throw in some compost and things like that for bone meal. I don't know if this will stay, but this is just kind of a fun little detail with my the saplings that are in my resource pack. Potted saplings look really cool. And then yeah, this is pretty great. The final thing I'll show you guys here is I did include the sort of storm cellar that we're going to use as our temporary storage early on. Give us plenty of barrels and chests for storage right now. There's a stone cutter and a furnace for some quick little stuff. Hi doggy. Hello. You want my steak, don't you? No steak. He's mine. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like using roots and things like this to kind of give that like dank, like roots are coming through the ground kind of vibe, in more of a moist, like kind of damp cellar. So yeah, this will definitely serve us for a little bit until we get more of a larger intentional storage situation down the road. And I think that is everything we're going to be able to accomplish today in episode 1. This has been a very fruitful episode. It's been fun to get started and explore the world a little bit. We now have a place to call our own. We have a little bit of resources. Here, if we go down here real quick, we can see I do have a diamond sword, shovel, axe, and pickaxe. And then if you look in here, we still have a leftover 5 diamonds and a good amount of like iron and things like that. I know I have to kind of organize a little bit because I have stuff kind of all over the place right now. But, you know, we're not doing terrible on resources at the beginning here. And actually, I was able to find an obsidian pocket. So I actually also have 18 obsidian sitting in a chest up behind the house there. So I think next episode we'll focus on getting some basic level enchantments and stuff like that set up, since we do have the diamonds and the obsidian ready for it. As well as, I know I've been collecting lots of sugarcane. We probably don't have quite enough yet for all the books and all the leather that we need to make all of the bookshelves to get level 30 enchants, but you can see that we are currently at level 29 on our enchantment level, so we're pretty close to already getting our level 30 enchants pretty quickly, which is great. I think to facilitate that going forward, we'll definitely want to find some kind of a spawner and make a mob farm. Maybe a skeleton farm would be nice, just to get some early bones for bone meal and things like that. But those are all plans for future episodes. I'm really excited about what we got here. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. This has been a great start, and I hope you guys stick with me as we continue kind of discovering what this is going to become. It's been a lot of fun, a really nice creative outlet for me that I've been wanting to approach for a long time. So thanks for letting me finally do that. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. Bye.